Hello and welcome back to Fatherhood and Family Law. I'm your host, Kendrick Holly. If you have a moment, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Again, thank you for your support. Fellas, fathers, parents, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that can bring peace or create that ongoing stress in your life, and that's the co-parenting. If you're there in that stage of family court, and I'm trying to eliminate that toxic conflict, and yeah, we're going to talk about co-parenting. So let's just start there. Let's just start with the mindset that we got to have to shift. Co-parenting is not about your relationship with the other parent. It's not. It's about your shared responsibility with your child or your children. Keep that in mind. You may not agree, you may not get along, you may have a complicated history, but the focus has to shift from personal conflict to parental responsibility. Because at the end of the day, your child deserves access to peace, not tension, not stress, not drama, none of that. Having that communication without conflict is very key. This is where most co-parenting challenges begin. You know, Healthy co-parenting, that communication, fellas, dads, fathers, parents, we know what that look like. It's clear, it's respectful, it's being focused on the child, the children. It's not emotional, it's not reactive, it's not personal, but it's hard. It's hard to get over things at times. I'm not perfect. Trust me, I get it. But here are a few simple guidelines. Keep the conversation about the child, not about the past issues. Stick to the facts, stick to that schedule, and avoid those arguments through texts and calls. Do not leave those voicemails. Do not leave those threatening texts because we know they will get brought up in court. Sometimes less is better. Less communication is better communication. Free game. Less is better. You don't have to be friends, but you do have to be effective and cordial. That's very key at the end of the day. And let's talk about balance. Yes, balance, that structure. Because successful co parenting requires two things, and that's structure and flexibility between both parents. You got to have that structure. You got to be flexible because structure comes from a parenting plan that both parents put in place. The schedule, those pickup times, those agreements, these create that consistencies for the children, for your child. But yes, we know life happens, schedule changes, things comes up. And that's where the flexibility comes in mind. That's where it matters the most at the end of the day. Being flexible doesn't mean being taken advantage of, but it means being reasonable when it comes to the benefits of the children. Just being there for the kids, because the goal isn't about control, but it's that overall cooperation between each other and just having that mutual respect and establishing those routines and boundaries when it comes to the household in your household and to the children because we know kids they thrive off a routine, especially during a time of change between those households. So having that consistent routine, in each household, it may look like the bedtimes are the same, school schedules, homework expectations, that overall daily structure is all the same. So, just keeping that between and that structure. Now, will everything be exactly the same in both homes? Probably not, and that's okay. But what matters the most is the child experiences, which is the stability, the predictability, and that sense of normalcy within the household, and knowing that they're safe and they're being loved. Because that's all that matters. But boundaries are just as important. Now, what you will accept and what you won't, respect goes both ways. Don't forget that, fellas. It goes both ways. Now, let's address the real issue, which is the toxic conflict that we all may be going through. Hell, I'm still going through it. It's rough, it's tough. But this is what damaged the most when it comes to co parenting. It's not the disagreements, but it's how we handle those disagreements. And that's why we end up in this family court situation because toxic looks crazy. It's the arguing, it's the blaming, it's the accusations. I'm guilty. Caught myself speaking bad one day. So, just keep that in mind. Children can't be exposed to this, don't need to be exposed to this. It affects them deeply, fellas. So Let's not do that, So set the standard. If it doesn't benefit the child, it doesn't belong in your co-parenting dynamic and in your domain. Just if it doesn't benefit the children, let it go, because everything comes back to the child at the end of the day. Excuse me one more time. Because when it comes back to the child, when those decisions get difficult, you have to ask yourself, is this helping my child? Is this creating stability for my child? Am I protecting their peace at the end of the day? That perspective will guide you. Even when emotions try to take over, that stress, that anxiety, let those tears come out. Your child doesn't need a perfect co-parenting. They need peaceful co-parenting. That's all, and building that foundation for long-term success. Co-parenting isn't just about today. It's about the long-term relationships you're building for tomorrow. Just keep that in mind. There will be milestones, fellas. The birthdays, the graduations, the life events, and how you handle co-parenting now will shape those moments later. We want to be there. We don't want to have the judge dictating where we can and cannot go. So keep those emotions intact. You know, you're setting the tone for respect, for communication, for how your child views the relationship. So keep that in mind. And even if things aren't perfect, you know, progress matter, small improvements matter, peace matter, love matters. So love on them kids, man. And thank you again, guys, for tuning in to Fatherhood and Family Law. In the next episode, we'll talk about fatherhood beyond the courtroom and how to stay engaged and being present, all that good stuff. If this episode gave you value, share it with another father who's navigating co-parenting and family court and family law. And again, I'm Kendra Colley, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.